Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Pageant Mag Philippines live sessions. Yours truly, once again, Fransudi is your pageant correspondent. And we are live simultaneously on Facebook page and, of course, on our YouTube channel. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click the bell notification and follow and like our Facebook page as well for more pageant updates. We are also on Instagram and TikTok, so please follow us on all our social media platforms. Now, guys, if you have any questions later for our guest tonight, please don't hesitate to drop your questions down below at the comment section. All right, so this episode is being brought to us once again by Celebrity, a celebration of tea of a lifetime. All right, we are back, and I believe that you are all excited to meet our guest for tonight. So, our esteemed guest is a Mr. sa Filipinas 2021 candidate hailing from Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga Peninsula. Well, he spent his early life in Vietnam that gave him self confidence, flexibility, and adaptability. This 24-year-old lad is a graduate of BS Entrepreneurship and currently managing their own Paglinawan Organic Eco Farm. So, please help me welcome our guest with a virtual applause. The pride of Zamboanga Peninsula, Januarius Paglinawan. All right, hello there. Good evening, Januarius. How do you want me to call you? Hello, Januarius. Hello. Hello, Januarius. I can't hear you. Mm-hmm. Hello, Januarius. All right. So we do apologize for some technical difficulties, guys. Mm-hmm. Just give us one quick moment for Januarius. Hello there. Can you hear me now? Hmm. All right, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in. And yeah, welcome once again to our live sessions. So just give us quick moment in here. Let's just wait for Januarius to fix his mic. Okay. Hello, Januarius. You were very clear a while back. What happened? hmm One quick moment. All right. So what's happening? Let me just try to check on Januarius. Hello, Januarius. Hmm. I think there you go. Hmm. All right. He is back.
Apologies, sir.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Our viewers are very, very patient. All right,
Thank you.
so there you go. How are you doing, Januarius? How do you want me to call you as well?
My first name is Januarius, but my
Mhm.
nickname is Janji. So it's really
Janji.
up to you.
All right, so Janji. Right, Janji, we have already introduced you very quickly. However, this isn't enough for us to get to know you well. Can you tell us more about yourself aside from this intro that we have already mentioned?
Um, okay, well, in in summary, I grew up in Vietnam for 14 years, and then I moved to the Philippines during college. And then after college, I started my own businesses, and then I grew up playing sports. But then
Mhm,
during the pandemic, I left the city life. I left work from like the, your typical office job, and then left that whole life
mhm,
and completely went 360 and moved to the farm. And I focused on my
mhm,
5 pillars, which is football, fitness, farming, food, and then my
mhm.
family. So
Wow. It's just interesting that you just mentioned a while ago that you grew up in Vietnam. So, were you born in Vietnam or you were just migrated to Vietnam after you were born here in the Philippines?
yeah, I would say we were an OFW family. So I was born in
Mm-hmm.
Cebu, and then when I was 4 years old, we moved. Well, I moved to Vietnam along with three of my
Uh-huh.
sisters, and then I
Mm-hmm.
stayed there for 14 years.
All right.
So
Wow. So, you must know you must be very fluent on Vietnamese.
if only, but we're not allowed. Because I went to an international school, so we weren't allowed to speak any other languages except English.
Oh,
Yeah,
see. So you were not using even it with your playmates, something like that,
yeah. It was
while
hard
growing up.
because I think like for the first year, I could only speak Bisaya. So
Oh,
I would speak Bisaya to my classmates.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just interesting, you know. However, Januarius, you mentioned a while ago that you have moved from uh, a city employee, or I mean, a corporate employee to a farming owner. So, how was that? What was the challenges? Was there any parang
There
may
was just
maingay? Mhm. Parang may
sorry,
maingay.
sir.
What was that? Parang may
Uh,
maingay. Parang may maingay on the background. Hello, guys. We do apologize for some technical difficulties. As of the moment, January or John G rather is currently fixing his microphone because there was somehow a noise on the background a while back while we were talking together. So please just stay around with us, guys. You will definitely get back, and we will have to. We will definitely wait for Januarius. All right, so just one quick moment, guys. Please bear with us. Hello there, and we are back.
So sorry,
All
I
right.
really think it's my phone.
Yeah, I think so. That's all
Yeah.
right. That's all right. So no worries about that. So we are all good now. So
Yes.
we can hear very clearly each other. All right. Anyway, so we were talking about your challenges from being a corporate employee to eventually becoming a um, farm owner. All right. Is that correct?
Yeah. I so in terms of the farm, my when we moved back in 2010,
Mhm.
this is just a little backstory. In Vietnam, my dad was working as a designer, as a furniture designer in the corporate world, and then so when he decided to leave that and started his own business and specifically farming because that was his roots and that's what he grew up in with. That's when we did the whole farming thing and not just any farming, specifically organic. I,
Mhm.
however, didn't want to follow that path, and I was still in college, and then I wanted to do my own thing and explore.
Mhm.
And my parents were very open to it, although it was kind of disappointing on their end, but they were very open to the fact for us to explore and have our own freedom.
Mhm.
After graduating, I started my own business, which is in like advertising and like production, which
Mhm.
ran for a good 3 months, and I also had like my own little food stand. But then I think there comes like these certain like times in your lives where you just sort of wake up and realize
Mhm.
maybe this isn't the life for me. And then
Mhm.
there was from that happened in a standpoint of COVID just happened,
Mhm.
businesses were closing, and then I just realized the importance of food because when I'm
Mhm.
stuck in my studio unit with no like food available around and it was hard to get food, I just realized, wow, I'm living such a life that's very not practical and not simple, and then my ideals and values and my lifestyle is very toxic in itself that was starting to destroy me. Um,
Mhm.
so then I just woke up one day and then I said, this is not for me. And then next thing you know, a few weeks later, I'm in the farm with no proper despedida, with no proper it just happened.
So, how did you find it then? So, how long have you been working in the farm?
I moved September as of
Mhm.
2020,
Mhm.
and so it's been a year. It's almost been a year, and then exactly a year. It's my first time back in Cebu since. So I'm kind of just there's a lot of choices that I made, not just specifically
Mhm.
to moving, but a lot of it has pertained towards my discipline, to my purpose, and to why
Mhm.
why am I doing the things that I'm doing. And then here I am now 1 year later, and I'm just trying to see like, wow, this was the area that I made that decision. This was the area. These were the friends that I was with, and
Mhm.
it's really like right now I'm just observing, and it's kind of nostalgic, but also overwhelming in terms of like emotionally.
So it's been a year now
Yeah,
that you're working in a farm. And how did you find working in a farm compared to working as a corporate employee?
it's I'm still technically working corporate because
Mhm.
like in the family business I'm handling the marketing and the social stuff. That's
Oh.
why that's why I'm like a millennial farmer because me being like farming itself ideally, like, if you think of farming, it's boring because but actually,
Yeah.
my my work day and my work life is very
Mhm.
adjusted to the current standards. So it's
Mm-mm.
very, I love it. It's very simple, and I'm able to do so many things and be so productive
Mhm.
compared to
Mm-mm.
before. So I
Uh-uh.
think the word I'm looking for is it's fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see.
Yeah.
Impressive. Impressive that you are enjoying farming now. All right. And it's really very few millennials like
Yeah.
us
Like
would
us.
would enjoy. Yeah, would as if you are disagreeing that I'm
No,
a
no, no, no. Because
millennial.
I would completely agree, but you're like wink.
Yeah. Basically, very few. It's a very rare for a millennial, rare rather for a millennial to work or to would enjoy farming, right? Because most of the millennials, as of the moment, or Gen Zs, right? They would rather have their phones, their gadgets on their hand in front of them, right? Every time. So farming is not really, or farm isn't really a word for them.
Yeah, I think the
Hmm.
word farming, once you think of farming, you think of the sun, and when you think of the
Hmm.
sun, you think it's tiring. It's like hot.
Yes,
So it's
and you
super
get
rare.
burned.
Yeah, and then like, the current, like, in terms of where people wants to be and how people are like, um like the big, like, influencers of this world, or even like
Hmm.
big people with big money, it's never really a farmer. It's really like,
Hmm.
you have a tech business, or that kind of, you have a
Hmm.
tech savvy thing going on. So I think that's where Gen Z wants to be, and so much social
Hmm.
platforms, you're influenced by so much of
Yes.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, it's just very impressive, just like what I have said a while back. And being a farmer, how did it cross your mind to somehow start with pageantry or joining pageantry? When did you ever thought of that?
Pageantry and even modeling itself, it was the life that I didn't think that I would be doing. Even when I was in Cebu, I'd be I'd be offered to do some modeling gigs and stuff and pageants.
Mm-hmm.
I was pushed to do pageants, but I just couldn't. It's just not my thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because I also know pageants itself, it's the way I see pageants. It has a deeper meaning to it. Like, you need to have a bit of purpose in order to have pageants, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not just competing on body, or it's not just keep competing on an image. You're there because you're trying to influence and you're trying to advocate something that you're passionate about. So I
Yeah.
never had that when I was in Cebu, and
Mm-hmm.
then just just COVID and like a lot of things just coming into perspective,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then just from when farming happened and living that life, living that simple life, I first wanted to influence people of the lifestyle change. Like,
Mm-hmm.
being living simple is not boring. It's also not bad. Like, simple needs, basic food, and just the basic, like, happinesses in life, like having your family over, doing things with your family, being healthy, having sports, and then from there it moved on to, okay, let's. I'm starting to see. Then started a football team, like Agrico FC. So then I started coaching kids to play football, and then these kids eventually started working for us on part-time basis as well, because you can love the game, you can play the game, but you can also work with us and earn as well, make a living out of the love of the game. From then, me and my sister, we started a youth organization called
Mm-hmm.
YMCA Dumingag, and it was just more
Mm.
of like skill enhancing the kids and making them more like business aware, like turning your passion into business, because knowing that you can't people like having that business mindset, you're always continuing. You'd always want to innovate. You'd always want to build,
Mm-mm.
and then that sort of like cultivates you there early on. And then
Mm-hmm.
when that happened, we have a policy in the youth group called Walay Ulaw, or in other words, for Bisaya, it means like no, you can't be shy. So
Mm-hmm.
then, you know what? I'm like, okay, if that's the policy, I have to show these youth that I can do anything. So then there was a
Oh.
first show in the province that came up. It was called the Base of Summer, And then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say yes to that. Like a makeup artist from RU said, hey, join this pageant, and I'm like, no. But then he's like, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Walay ulaw, let's go, let's do it. And then
So,
from there,
mhm.
I won, and then it just things just picked up. I realized that I found my purpose, and I saw the things, and people were coming to me like talking about farming. Like people were proud that there's this other person that they can look up to in farming and then in gardening, and it's not about me teaching. It's about like you as a youth just rediscover like farming with me, rediscover Mindanao with me, and then yeah. So Misters came in after, and then here I am with you.
So meaning this Misters of Filipinas is just your first national pageant, if I may say.
Yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
experienced.
And why did you choose to join Misters of Filipinas instead of the other pageants that's basically around in the Philippines?
I think once I won Days of Summer, and
Mm-hmm.
then I realized like I wanted to reach bigger platforms, and there were so many in my mind in terms of, well, not just pageantry but other things that I wanted to get into. But Misters came in, and maybe another two three pageants came in, but then I, for some reason, my instinct just said Misters of Filipinas sort of clicked better for me, and
Mm-hmm.
it I don't know, just my gut said go to Misters, and it seemed like a very very legit and organized national pageant that I think that I belong into.
I see, I see. So somehow you are already prepared for Misters of Filipinas.
I wouldn't say prepared. I would say,
Mm-hmm.
but the way that I discipline my life and my routine, it prepares me for anything that comes along. And also, like my father, he would always, whenever we have guests come over, we would
Mm-hmm.
always have to speak in front of these people, like for whatever reason, right? Like he keeps saying, you have to always communicate with our guests because that'll help you in public speaking. So I
Uh-huh.
feel like there's a lot of stuff that my parents have done that has prepared us for such a thing like this.
So you were saying a while back that this is your first national pageant and that you are not an experienced pageant.
Yes.
So you're just an amateur. So how are you preparing for it?
I'm not doing anything different to be honest. I'm just doing
Mhm.
who I am. Like I think maybe on the technical side, learning how to walk properly, pose properly, do my shoots properly. Maybe that's something that I'm currently working on. But on other areas, there's nothing really because I know who I am and I know what I represent and I know the reason why I'm in this. And so, if anything, my confidence level on approaching that is um, up there.
Wow. I'm really looking forward to see how you would perform um on the come coronation night or even during the preliminaries. Now, we've already talked about your work experiences and of course your pageant experiences and all that stuff. Now, we want to get to know more about you. So we'll be playing this. Have you ever heard about this?
Um, yeah, never have I ever. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's modified. All right.
yeah. It's
All right. Are you ready?
yes. Let's go.
Okay, good. So, have you ever had worn an oversized or undersized pair of shoes?
Sorry,
Have you ever had worn an oversized or undersized pair of shoes?
I've worn both, oversized
Oh,
and
mm-hmm.
undersized.
How did it happen?
Uh, I think this is specifically to football. I mean, when we're playing and then you don't have your shoes on and then you see somebody else's and you just grab theirs and like I'm gonna play in this because you're giga, like you just want to play.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
That's normally happens.
and I guess maybe wearing my dad's shoes.
Do you have a similar? Similar shoe size?
Yeah, now that I hit puberty.
So you mean back when you
Yeah,
were a kid, you were already wearing your dad's shoes.
yeah, like he looked like a proper guy. He looked like a guy that you could look up to. So I thought if I could
Uh-huh.
wear his shoes, I can
You
be
could be
like
like
him.
him.
No.
How about, have you ever had snacked out from home?
Snacked out like late
Mhm.
night munchies, like eating
Yes. Uh huh.
all the time. Oh my gosh. My sister, I have three sisters. So my first
Hmm.
is the eldest sister, her and her fiance, they have like their own grocery inside their own room.
Hmm.
And then whatever they buy in the grocery, everything's listed on the receipts. So
Hmm.
if I can't go to the grocery, the actual grocery to buy, I knock on their room and be like, "Yo, can I buy like Super Crunch or Piatos or?" And then I just pay whatever that's amount on the receipt.
I
Yeah.
mean, sneak out when like
Oh,
going out
sneak
for.
out. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you
Uh-huh.
meant snack. Sneak out. Yes, I mean, in my age now, no.
Hmm.
In college, no. Also, I was living alone. But in high school, yes. My
Always.
parents would think that I was sneaking out to see girls, but in reality, I was sneaking out so I can bike and go to KFC and come back.
That's already here in the Philippines, right?
No, this was in Vietnam. This is
Still in Vietnam.
yeah.
All right. How about, have you ever had wished to be a girl? So you just mentioned a while ago that you have two sisters.
Yeah.
Have you ever had wished to be like them?
No, but when I was a kid, I used to wear my sister's clothes a lot. So I would wear their dresses a lot and wear my sister's heels. And whenever people call us at home, I sound exactly like my sister. So if it's her friends, I would pretend to be like her, so I can get to know secrets. So I wouldn't say I wish, but I sort of lived it.
Actually,
Ah,
actually, that's actually my next question in here. If you had ever worn your sister's or your brother's clothes.
I mean, I owned it. I was sexy. I think I'm in the wrong pageant, sir.
No, it's just all right. You know, when we are kids, when we are children, actually, we are trying to discover everything,
Yeah.
right? So we are basically on the face of, or the stage of discovering. Like everyone you want to try. Like there's always a curiosity. So that's fine. That doesn't mean that you are not who you are. At least you are basically
Yes.
telling us, right? You are being open to us, right?
Yes.
Hmm. And doesn't make you a less person, of course, or less
No.
human. And yeah, so let's move on. Have you ever had a crush on your instructor or professor, or to your teacher back in high school? Seemingly.
That's a very good question. Maybe not my teacher per se. I find them attractive. Like a lot of my professors were pretty young. So being in high school around 15 and 16, our professors or teachers back in high school were around like let's say late 20s, early 30s. So they were very
Yeah.
attractive people. But yeah, that's as far as it goes. But that goes like I gave the look because I think I'm attracted to, I wouldn't say older women, but like more like mature and like intellectual women is who like I get along with.
Hmm.
Well, that's what I
Hmm.
like. I find crushing on people's intellect
Hmm.
and like being able to have a good conversation with a person rather than like physical looks.
Oh, that's so sweet. Hmm. And how about, have you ever had sold any of your pre-loved items?
Sold any of my pre-loved items?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. I feel like I have an attachment to like
Mm-hmm.
things in general, so I don't try to sell them.
Ah, sentimental value.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
All right.
actually, I don't sell them, but I if I can't wear them, I give them away.
Oh, oh, that's nice. Actually, I'm also receiving hand me down.
Yeah, you
All
can.
right.
I can give you my dad's big shoes.
How about have you ever had fallen in love with your best friend?
With my best friend.
Mhm,
Um, I would say no, but
mhm,
I think it's falling in love with my best friend. I think love there's a different type of love for my best friend. It's
mhm,
it's already platonic in itself, and it's a lot deeper than falling in love, I think.
mhm.
But maybe like falling in love, I don't know. That's kind of like there's a borderline of like, is this something that I can entertain? But no, I've never have.
Oh, but there was this something that, but there was this I don't know, notion, I guess, that the best relationship, I believe, as they say, rather, I mean, that the best relationship could be established when you have when you are already good friends, when you are already best friends,
I agree with that 100%.
best foundation.
Yes, yes. That's a
Mhm,
that's a better term for it. Not
mhm.
rushing into a relationship of any sort, but learning them slowly. Then yeah,
So, like befriending them first before falling in
yeah.
love.
I feel like my in terms of like my love life, I was a type of person that really rushed things before, and that also this included in life when I was living in the city. But now
Mhm,
I do like to take my time slowly, and
mhm.
this is like a constant reminder that my mom keeps giving me because she's like an angel that's so pure hearted, and so yeah.
Nice. Mm. How about have you ever had eaten a chicken intestine or chicken isaw? Are you familiar with that?
Chicken, isn't that the same? That's the same,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah, just the
Isaw.
same. Chicken intestine or chicken isaw.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't like it, and I don't like it now. I
Uh,
don't. It's not like I don't like it. I choose not to eat it, but it's because of when I
Avoid
was a
it.
kid. Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad would, whenever we come back to the Philippines, he would give us isaw, and it would be the best thing ever. But then again, later on, when he did the unveiling, like when he like unboxed what it is or like told us what it is, and in the most weirdest ways, I think as a kid it developed some sort of trauma towards
Uh,
isaw. So.
what was it? Can you tell us? Can you
I
share that?
I don't know, but it's for me and my sister. We were just like, what? Like as kids, you're like, no, what, Dad? No, no. Yeah,
I see, like traumatized. Have
yeah.
you ever had too much fun at a party?
I think I would always have too much fun at any party.
Mhm.
Yeah, I try to live my life in the best way possible in every single moment,
The
especially
fullness,
parties.
as always.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a yes.
Have you ever had tried cutting classes?
Yes. Yeah, I represent majority of the population in the Philippines, by the way.
Cutting classes. So when did you cut classes? Back in high school or college?
High school, you couldn't cut class. College, yes.
So it was
I
already here in the Philippines.
It was already here in the Philippines, yes.
Well, everyone could definitely relate on that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had fallen asleep with your clothes? I mean, your formal wear and shoes on?
No, no, never.
Oh, that's so nice. So you're just being very how shall I say, parang ano ba tawag dun? Banidoso?
What is that?
Banidoso. Yeah, like ano ba? I forgot the term. Like very vain when it comes to of course to
I think
sleeping comfortably.
I think it's my parents raised us in a way that you should adjust yourself into the environment, and wearing formal outfit means that you're in a very proper and formal setting. So falling
Uh-huh.
asleep, I think, is very disrespectful to who's around me.
All right, thank you so much for that, Janji. We definitely enjoyed those revelations. And yeah, we will definitely get back to you guys as we have a short break. So please do prepare for your questions. We will definitely ask those questions to Janji after this short break. All right.
Thank you.
There you have it once again, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. So we have one question here coming from Federico Bandala Araniego.
Okay.
All right. So the question goes like, how should a real Mister be impactful in this time of pandemic?
I think a real mister
Mhm,
should embody who they are already
mhm,
outside the show. Competing for this event, winning it is a bonus, but
mhm,
what you do after and who you are after is who the real misters is.
mhm.
And so
Oh,
that's how I believe a real mister should be, like how they would be impactful in this
mhm,
time of
mhm.
pandemic.
All right, definitely the voice that you are trying to clamor, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think that then follows, being
Mm-hmm.
misters, you are a person in the eye of the public, and then being
Mm-hmm.
who you are and what you represent, and then being that person post show, and then the year after, and then the years onwards, that would then influence people to follow you. So in these times of pandemic, when everything is so dim and gloomy, there's like
Mm-hmm.
this ray of light,
Mm-hmm.
poetically, metaphorically. So yeah.
And thank you so much, Federico, for that question. Now let's talk about some social issues. Yeah, let's talk about some social issues, Chanji. All right, so um, Mr. Filipinas is basically its core is on education, right? So you are basically advocating for education. I mean the organization, right? Now, my question is basically, or our topic is basically on poverty and education, because some people would say that the root cause of poverty is the lack of education, and that's basically because there are a lot of illiterate Filipinos as of the moment. What's your stand on this?
That's kind of a funny question that you brought up, because I come from a place where I was very privileged growing up, and I admit that I'm very, like, that was a part of me in my lifetime, and then moving into the Philippines, living that life, and then starting from zero again. I
Mhm,
saw a taste of it, but it wasn't enough yet.
mhm,
But then when I moved back, and then you hear my parents, like they are like my parents both grew up in poverty, and they
mhm,
experienced that life. And then when I would hear their stories, it's one thing hearing it, but seeing it and experiencing it, that's also a different perspective itself.
mhm,
And then moving into the province and actually seeing it, you kind of like it makes. That's when I started really asking myself, like, what is really poverty? And then like I'm in the current situation. I'm still understanding poverty and where it stands, but based on from what I've seen so far, I feel like yes, there is, like, there's poverty because of, like, there's a lack of education,
mhm,
um, not only just in the current educational system, but also it comes down to, um, let's say, sex education itself. Like in the
Mhm.
province, poor people breed to make business, to make things happen. Um, and then also like there's also I also do feel like there is a lack of facilities.
Mhm.
You know, education and teaching is one thing, but being
Mhm.
able to practically do things, that's something that's very hard. That's something that's not present here. And what I noticed compared to other global countries is that there's a lot of available facilities, like let's say football stadium, like recreational centers, for you to be able to see an opportunity in doing something, governmentally funded um, recreational stuff. Um, so yeah, I think it's a really the balance between education and being able to do the thing as a kid, if that makes any
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you are trying to say. There's always a lack of, there's always a lack in one sector that you cannot definitely um, blame it to another sector.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, it's not basically on education per se. That's the root cause. I definitely believe on that. I definitely agree with you that education is not just the it's not just one factor of or a factor or root cause of poverty, because well, it could be just one factor, however it's not solely the root cause.
I
Mhm.
so sorry. Like it just hit me now that
Mhm.
a part of what my dad does, especially to
Mhm.
eradicate poverty, is that
Mhm.
he gives opportunities. Like he
Mhm.
values the word opportunities, and that's why the youth group happened to
Uh-huh.
present opportunities. Because if you want to, like, let's say if you want money from my dad, he would say,
Mhm.
okay, rather than me giving you money and then you become independent, why don't I give you this tomato seed or these tomato seeds? When you harvest them, that's
Mhm.
when we can buy them from you, and then that's when you can get yourself out of poverty. I think there's
Yeah.
also other than education itself, there's also just human discipline and maybe the nature of how culture, like the people are in the province. They're very laid back and maybe also
Mhm.
like lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we are basically leading to what they say equal opportunity,
Yes.
right? So because
Right.
you are giving these people an opportunity to somehow earn something,
Yes.
correct? Mm-hmm. Instead of just trying to get some skilled people, like or skilled workers rather. So these people, while they are providing something for you, then you also give them something in return, financially, as a support, right? So it's already somehow giving equal opportunity to those who are basically in need, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. So keep moving.
Mhm.
Mm, there's actually this what we call women empowerment, for well, which are basically the women are clamoring, right? Do you think it's affecting men when it comes to opportunities or leadership, something like that?
No, I don't think so. You know, like I genuinely I think the word there is respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like women empowerment, like men should give the respect that women should deserve, because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like having a male dominant, let's say having a male dominant company, it lacks a lot of traits that a woman also has.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, I think that's where I am with it.
I see. All right. So yeah, definitely. Women empowerment basically starts just to prove themselves, basically that they are also um, the same as men, right? So I believe that this is not even a challenge for men.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right. To
I mean,
somehow.
it's how it should have been in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where that's how I feel. It's how it should have been in the beginning, and if
Mm-hmm.
anything, having like traits of women can strive a man's like business, or
Mm-mm.
strive like grow a man's like team, right? And even
Mm-mm.
women leaders themselves today are shown to be good people,
Mm-mm.
even better than men.
Oh, well, that depends as well with the capabilities of
Yes,
of a leader. Mm.
yes.
All right, so there you go. Thank you so much for that, Federico. And we are there was actually this one um, statistics that being provided by Philippine Statistics Authority, wherein it shows that um, women is more literate than men because it came out that women has already gained 97% literacy rate, while men is like 2 points lower than women, which is 95% literacy rate. So we were speaking about women empowerment a while back. Do you think that this is affecting men's capability
The
and opportunity as well?
the fact that women are more literate than men, so
Mhm.
men are illiterate themselves in terms of opportunity. I I don't date based on data that I don't know if I stand behind that, because I feel
Mhm.
like for me as a in terms of my experience when it comes to like exams and stuff, I was never the perfect person to fill
Mhm.
out, to memorize, to fill. I personally am the type of person that's very practical in what I do, and
Mhm.
aware of my surroundings. And I think what the discussion should be, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, is your attitude correct for where you're going? And
Mhm.
statistics themselves, I don't agree with that data
Mhm.
to be presented, whether men or women are literate. I don't think that should be measured.
That's definitely correct. No, I would have to agree with you once again. Basically, because men are more practical. They are more psychomotor wise. They are. It's more for men, while women are more for clerical, right?
Yeah.
So basically, that's the difference between men and women when it comes to literacy or literacy um, case issues. Now we have a question coming from Nad. Would you rather have more time for? Would you rather have more time or more money? If more time, name important thing that you want to achieve or to accomplish. If more money, in what important matter do you want to use it for? Why? Thank you, Sir Boyabunda. Joke. Thank you. Thank you, Nad. So Nad is once again a Suki here. All right. Mhm.
Hi, Ned. This is a very this question is very sentimental to me, and it's one of the reasons why I left that life that I lived,
Mhm.
because I chose to have more time. I would choose to have more time, and I would choose to have specifically more time with my family, especially my parents.
Mhm.
So if God can give me more time in the world, I would love to spend more time with them. And if I was able to do what I can with the money and the time that I have, I would spend more of my time and money achieving my dad's dreams, my parents' dreams. My yeah, and then he's of age. He's well into his 60s now, and I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to think about time, like the time left I have with him, because it's just it's too much for me.
Mhm.
But to answer the question, yeah, I would spend more time with my family, and if I had the money, I would want to achieve their dreams.
See, thank you so much, Nad. And
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
I wish to be a Suki too. Yes, sir. You can be a Suki. Just just visit our YouTube channel and our Facebook page every night because
Yes.
we always have live sessions at 8 p.m., sir. So you can always be, sir. All right. So, um, Janji, I believe that you have been into social media as well, and you have encountered so much what we call um, fake news, right? So, in your own perspective, or in your own, how do you, on your own rather, how do you, um, how do you filter out fake news on your account? Yes, tambay-tambay lang dito.
Yeah, we can all time by together.
Mhm, mhm,
For fake news, I feel like we shouldn't believe everything based on first impression and the first thing that we hear. I feel like as much as there's so much on the internet, we should use the fact that the internet can provide us with a lot of resources and avenues to better know and to better educate ourselves. So, should we hear something, I think it's in the right manner to properly research it
mhm,
on local news, on even people themselves are becoming news platforms. Like influencers are starting to speak news based on
mhm,
people or based on what they're good with. So yeah, I feel like where I'm going at is do not judge based on, do not react on the first thing that you hear. Do
mhm.
your due diligence and research more.
Yeah, that's right. Fact check, what we call.
Yes.
Do the fact checking, and of course, consider the credible sources as well, right?
Yeah.
hmm Okay, so, well, you mentioned a while ago, if I would like to go back to your answer a while back about your education, you mentioned as well that you mentioned about sex education, right? So, speaking of sex education, then there was this statistics once again, huh? th- that shows teenage pregnancy or adolescent fathers is basically increasing. So, in your own opinion, what should be done to somehow eradicate, or if not eradicate, definitely we cannot eradicate this, or somehow avoid um, adolescent fatherhood or teenage pregnancy rather.
Not to avoid that. I feel like Filipinos themselves are very passionate people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, we are.
avoiding a trait that's within the nature of Filipinos themselves is very
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, that's really kind of tough. I think what I've noticed here is that how contraception is
Mm-hmm.
perceived here. It's a very it's not like something that you can approach easily on the counter. It's something that's like looked down on in a way,
Mm-hmm.
or it's something that's very like that you would shy off, like um, based on experiences. Like when I was growing up in Vietnam, you can easily, maybe not for me per se, but you can easily go to the counter and get your contraceptives. But then
Mm-hmm.
also that comes down into back, it trickles then down to like poverty and money, because you'd have to invest in money in order to have these things also. So it goes back down to poverty again. So education and practical, like, back to the same conversation we had earlier, and then seeing the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for kids. And when you see an opportunity, you then prioritize your opportunity. You don't
Mm-hmm.
prioritize on your social influences. Like having a family isn't always the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an end goal, but later on in life, it doesn't have to happen so soon. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
um, love and family and marriage has been very romanticized based on what we've seen on media here locally, and these type of things happen in such an early age.
Mm-hmm. Because it has been a culture in the Philippines that
Yes.
once a teenager gets pregnant, or anyone actually gets pregnant, so they end up to getting married,
Yeah.
right away. So it's really difficult for the cases of teenagers to get married, especially when they are minors, right? So the tendency is that it's immature, and less experience of what to do, right? So perhaps my point of view in here is that education should always be start in the family or start at home, right? Especially in this kind of issue, right? Because sex education in the Philippines is a taboo. We don't normally
Yes.
talk
Okay.
about it.
That's
Mhm,
yes. That's the word taboo,
mhm,
and
mhm,
I do completely agree that it has to start from the
mhm,
family. It has to
mhm,
be an open conversation
mhm,
with both your parents and you as a kid. Because I'm just getting flashbacks of me right now,
mhm,
growing up, and then having to experience these new things, and you're hitting puberty, and you just don't know what's happening, and you can't really talk to somebody, and then luckily my
mhm,
parents are very open people, so my dad was easily he's like, hey,
mhm,
I'm not just your father, I'm your best friend, you can talk to me about these things. I 100% agree with you, sir.
Yeah, because that's basically what's happening. We don't talk a lot. We don't talk much about it. So I think openness with the parents, I guess, could definitely help us to prevent this. Yeah, cases. Because if we all know that teenagers would always be curious. We all know
Yeah.
that whenever they are curious about something, they would definitely, discover, right? Try to discover things out. So I think so. Openness to things like this, to this kind of issues, should definitely be at home. Should be definitely done at home. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Well, well, thank you so much, Sir Federico. Oh, that's really very flattering. I know. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Yeah. The page is always open for everyone, sir. So regardless of culture, tradition, and all, the regardless of the culture or religion, we are open for everything. We are supporting pageants worldwide, especially, of course, nationwide. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing with me and with us, rather, with us, with Janji. Thank you so
Yeah,
much po.
thanks for joining us, sir Fred.
Mm-hmm. Do you know him?
Yeah, very recently we got in touch actually. He visited our farm
Uh-huh.
coincidentally with our customers,
Mm-mm.
and I was in the farm. I'm also the cocinero, so I also
Oh.
cook, and then we cooked them dishes, and then we were able to communicate, and then serve. Fed was able to share his passion also into the industry.
Wow. So that's nice. All right. Thank you so much, sir. And yeah, we are open to supporting everyone, sir. You can also invite us. Just kidding. Yeah, you're the best chef though. You're the best chef though. Anyway, let's move to our next topic, Janji. So, um, I know that you are very much aware of the discrimination on the community of LGBTQIA. So, what's your stand on the discrimination going around against the community?
I am 100% for the LGBT
Mhm,
community. Like I feel
mhm,
like it's a choice. Like it's your body, it's your choice. You do what you want,
mhm.
because at the end of the day, it's you're the one that's gonna die, and you're the one who's gonna reflect on what you did on this lifetime, and whether
Exactly.
you are your own judge of whether you lived a happy life. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's just been too much drama towards LGBTQ of the people that are against, when there are more pressing matters at hand that should be discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, that's where I stand. I'm 100% with LGBTQ, and then yeah, and then it's up to you. I think there's choice. It's choice.
Yes, absolutely. It's always a choice. And the word for this, I guess, is respect.
Yeah.
When we learn to respect each other, right? And accept each other as well. No, that's basically this what we call this discrimination could definitely be eradicated because I believe that when you respect each one, there is no room to judge or to discriminate another person. Okay?
Yeah.
So you
One
are your
love.
own. Yeah, one
Yeah.
love. You are your own judge. Yes. That's right, Sir Federico. But of course, we have to be very careful with this line as well. You are your own judge because sometimes this can be abusive to us as well. Like it doesn't allow us to listen from others as well, which supposedly can help us grow as well. Right?
Yes,
Perhaps
that's correct.
the best thing that we could do is respect actually and accept each one, right? Mm.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Federico, for interacting with us. Okay, so you have been mentioning about your advocacy, which is actually on farming, right? Its core is farming.
It's actually food security through agri through youth agripreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you so much. Nakakatuwa naman si Sir. Oh, that is it. I-expound lang on the positive notes. Hmm. Oh, may naghumabol na tanong. Okay lang ba before we talk about your um, advocacy, i-entertain muna natin tong question. Could we entertain this question before we talk here
sure.
about your advocacy? So, all right, so here we go. It's from Jordy. It's, yeah, Suki kasi si Jordy. Filipinos are passionate and hospitable people. Unfortunately, there is other side of the coin. Name one attitude of Filipinos that you are not proud of and why. Oh, you
Um,
should know this very well because you once lived in Vietnam.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's something like growing up, my parents never cultivated us in a way to think negatively about
Mm-hmm.
anything. So if
Mm-hmm.
anything, we also do have a choice to look at the positive side of things. So I never looked at what the wrong attitude of a Filipino is, because we're all one human race. Whatever we are, other countries are exactly the same as well, but it's also done in their own manner and in their own culture. So I there's nothing that I can say negative about Filipinos, to be honest.
Oh, that's so nice of you. That's so kind of you. But you know what? If I may, if I may answer that question, if I may answer that question, there's really one thing that the Filipinos is really very unique when it comes to this behavior. It's only in the Philippines,
Which is,
which is crab mentality.
yeah,
Yeah, they really like dragging each one. Like
yeah,
people, I mean, Filipino really like to, or really likes to drug each one, especially when they feel um insecure of something of someone else you
yeah.
know
It's if you are their best friends when you
yes.
guys are all on equal terms, but then as soon as one person starts making it or starts to reach their goals,
Mm-mm.
your friends are no longer your friends.
Exactly. And yeah, um what's really saddening in here is that you don't know that they are basically fighting back at you.
Yeah,
You will only realize that they're already making um stories about you,
Yeah.
and you would be the last person to know that.
I think coming from a place, I do have experienced that so much moving here as well.
Mhm,
Like in terms of discrimination, especially for me being an OFW, not being able to speak my language, looking very Filipino but speaking English and not having the same culture and mindset as well. And then
mhm,
um, and then that's also part of the choice of also moving and being with
mhm.
my family because then I can only confide in my family. I don't need to confide in friends and people, and then I can grow my success through there because crab mentality is real in the Philippines.
Yes, it is very real.
It's very real and it's very sad. That's why but I'm currently at peace, so I have nothing to say
Mhm.
bad against it. But it is sad. It is very
It
sad.
is, it is really sad. Yeah, yes, Nad, may
Oh, I think you
pinaguhugutan
know
daw.
what? It's the compassionate. I think if you're compassionate, I feel sad for all these people who have to act like that.
Mhm,
Why do you have to? That's what I don't get.
mhm. Yeah, I think it's basically because of insecurity, and
Yeah.
handling this kind of people doesn't really, isn't really easy. But for me, I handle this kind of people like I don't see them, like it's just very civil,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, it's me who know. It's basically myself who knows me very well. So ganun lang. Deads. Parang ganun lang. Mm. Parang ganun lang, Nan. Just don't care about them. Just don't, don't
Yeah,
get
I
affected.
think
Just don't get affected by it. Mhm.
I just think
Mhm.
what my dad does is just to do good and be good and to continue being good
Mhm.
because maybe today they might be like that,
Mhm.
but they might also go through revelation in life and like everybody has their own timeline when it comes to their own journey. And a year from now, considering if someone did good, if that person was giving good, he would then go back
Mhm.
and look for that person who gave them that like that
Mhm.
openness and being able to accept, and maybe then they themselves will turn good as well. At least
Mhm.
that's what we hope for. I don't
Mhm.
feel like crab mentality lasts forever. It does come in and change.
How kind you are. You're just so kind to be thinking that way. But for me, kasi, I would haters gonna hate though. Haters
Haters
gonna
gonna
hate if you're not hurting anybody. Just keep moving forward. Yeah, that's right, naman. If you're not hurting anybody, just let go of them, shrug your shoulders, gana lang then. Parang kasi at the end of the day, it's gonna always be you yourself. And for me kasi, what I always have to consider as well is perhaps these people has been or have been into some experiences that I don't know. So something that I really have to somehow um, consider as well and understand where they're coming from.
yeah, I think there's a lot of trauma
Mm-mm, that's
of how
right.
people like are raised here,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically in culturally as well, like traditional ways of thinking, adjusting to the new ways of thinking, different generations. So that has a lot to do, and then also like how families are being formed as well. There's a lot of broken families. Um, there's a lot of young families as well. So there's a lot of factors to why this happens, and the only way
Yes.
to go about it is to understand and not to reciprocate and be negative back.
Don't be like them.
Don't be like them. You're only gonna bring yourself on the same level
Yeah,
as them.
exactly. Don't fight back, because when you fight back, you'll definitely be like them, and they'll definitely be very happy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about your advocacy. So you were talking a while back about farming,
Yes.
and you are advocating for eco farm, right? So can you tell us more about this, because I myself is not really very much aware of this. I myself is not really very much educated when it comes to this advocacy.
My advocacy comes from a place of experiencing how COVID affected me and
Mm-hmm,
the pandemic, being able
mm-hmm,
to be stuck in one room and not have the security of food. You know,
Mm-hmm.
money no longer, when you see people start bartering on things just for food, then you
Mm-hmm.
realize that's the real currency. Food is the real currency. But
Mm-hmm.
then with so many people leaving the agricultural world and into the big cities just to make money, and
Mm-hmm.
to live these big dreams, you sort of forget what your main necessity is, which is food. And
That's right.
so, like, my advocacy then came in through that, and then it became a journey for me to understand what farming is and why it's a very hard life. And I also feel like it's structured in a way that agriculture is seen as a very poor thing to do in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
unlike other countries where if you're into agriculture, you're a very wealthy family. um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm still understanding it. I do see that it is such a hard life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially when you make rice. Like, that's the hardest. You go through in the heat, you plant the seeds, and then you are controlled by the weather. It's
Mm-hmm.
really like it's up to the weather now whether they give me money or not, because if it rains too much, then all your crops are gone, and then when you do harvest, there's such small trade for these farmers. There's no security for these farmers. So that's when I feel really like the way towards them or sad.
Yeah,
So
I definitely understand that because I myself grew up in a farm as well. And yeah, just like what you have mentioned earlier, we are basically depending on the weather. We are depending our food on the weather, our you know ano ba, our harvest.
yeah,
We are depending our harvest on the weather. If it rains too much, then there could be a tendency that we won't get any harvest. If it won't rain, if it's gonna be all dry all throughout, then the tendency as well is that we won't get anything, right? Mhm.
but you know, like, me advocating it is also showing a gateway into what agriculture and farming and gardening is like. That it's actually not
Mhm.
that hard.
Mhm.
It's a simple thing as like going to the gym, or it's just, you know, like watching Netflix. It's a choice of
Mhm.
decision of, you know, planting instead of doing something else, right?
Exactly.
And it's also like, because people are leaving the agricultural life, people don't
Mhm.
know, and people,
Mhm.
it's actually very simple. And you can, the part of me advocating is you can simply make your own farm at home, so you
Mhm.
don't have to go hungry again.
Mhm. Yeah, that's actually a somehow a reflection or an eye opener to everyone because when the pandemic striked the world, diba, or strike globally, so there was basically a scarcity on food.
Yes.
Not because we cannot be able to go out to get some food in the supermarkets or in the markets, but because um, there was no money to go, to spend for as well, right? Because everything has stopped, even work stopped, right? So yeah, it's really an eye opener that when you have a garden, at least on your backyard, simple garden and at the backyard, at least you have something you can depend on.
But it's nice
Mm-hmm.
to see there is already a movement, you know, like there,
Mm-hmm.
when people were not even thinking about it, people are already trying it. Like the
Mm-hmm.
trend towards plantito and
Plantita and
plantita,
plantitas.
that's
Mm-hmm.
already a start to, you know, the health and people going into wellness. There is already a
Mm-hmm.
movement because of COVID, which is amazing, and the
Mm-hmm.
world itself has reciprocated back, and it has become greener than what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, most of the plantitos and plantitas are just planting non-bear
Yes,
non-bearing non-bearing plants, 'di ba?
they,
Non-bearing fruit
unfortunately,
plants. Yeah.
but there, that's already awareness into the industry itself.
Because uh, on my end, on my own opinion, if you are going to do plantito and plantitas, if you're going to to do planting, so better plant something that you can get something from it, not only the well, I'm not saying that you're not getting anything from the plants, because we can, it's where it is where we can get oxygen and the fulfillment of seeing them flowering plants like flowering and growing. However, fruit bearing trees or fruit bearing plants would definitely be more sustainable to everyone, right?
Yes.
Kapag ano eh. So, how long have you been advocating on this? Aside from you working on the plant on your farm, and how long have you thought of it, or have you how long have you gone to work on this to work on this advocacy?
It's the same time when I decided to move back to the province.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of like, this was my advocacy. It was just sort of like that curiosity to get into something
Mm-hmm.
like this because of how I was personally affected.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was only during like, pageants where you had to have your advocacy. And then that's when I realized, okay, this is something that I was just been doing or rediscovering
Yes.
since.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been 1 year. One
Uh,
year in no, like this month. I think this is my one
it's
year.
turning 1 year. Yeah, it's turning one
Yes.
year. Now, if I may ask, Janji, if you are going to propose at least an act or a decree to your local government unit that's basically very close to your advocacy, what would that be?
I think it has something to do with trade towards agriculture. I know there's been like the whole tariffs and everything that's happened, the issue
Mm-hmm.
between like rice farmers and stuff. So I would do something that field where uh, farmers would earn more
Mm-hmm.
for the rice that they produce, and it would start there. Not nothing. I can't go into any specific, but that's where I'd start.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really great, huh? Because this could also a gateway for everyone, for especially for the farmers, to somehow um, be seen as well and be recognized by the government as one factor to eradicate poverty, di
Yes.
ba?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Janji. We definitely enjoyed your time with us. But before we proceed, Janji, we will definitely get back to you guys for an exercise with Janji. So it's not a
Okay.
physical exercise.
No.
Organic is a healthier option. Choose it and be better. Absolutely, Sir
Yeah.
Federico. Yeah, that's definitely the best. And it's healthier. That's right. So, guys, we will definitely get back to you for short break after the short break. All right. Please stay tuned. All right, we are back. So it's time for you, Janji, to play with us. So I have prepared a game in here. So I hope you'll definitely um, enjoy this game. All right.
Let's go.
So. Mhm. Okay, so here we go. Can you see it on your end?
Yes, mystery. Wait, not yet.
Yeah, it's Mystery Crown. Thank you so much, Sir Federico. Thank you for tuning in with us. All
Thank you,
right,
sir.
so so it's a Mystery Crown. So one moment, let me just remove that logo so that you can be able to see everything on your end. Okay. There you go. So it's a mystery crown. So we have here six crowns. I have prepared six crowns in here. So each crown has a corresponding word or words. Okay, where you can give comment, make comments, reactions, or give opinions. Okay, it could be a single word or group of words, or it could be just like a modified fast talk. And are you familiar with fast talk?
Yes.
All right, so there you go. So are you ready?
Hmm.
Okay, so I'll just be asking you to just pick three, one after the other. All right.
Okay.
So
Two.
what's your first pick? Number
Um,
two. Are you sure for this?
I don't know. Let's
Oh,
go.
for 50,000 pesos. Joke. All right, it's morning or evening.
Morning.
Why?
My parents always taught me the something to do with like the early bird, like the early bird's rise, like always catches the worm.
Big
And so,
words.
yeah, that's one of the things I also started when during the pandemic. I decided to work on my discipline, and in order to work my discipline, I had to wake up early and
Mhm.
have like this morning routine before I deal with all the mess throughout the day. So to me, mornings very effective.
Oh, kaya lang ano ako eh, nocturnal ako so I really can't stay up in the morning. Okay, let's move. What's your next pick?
Four,
Number four. Oh, one moment. Why it's morning again?
they didn't
What's
agree with my
wrong with
answer.
this? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Oh my god. Just give me one quick moment. Let me just try to check on this.
No worries.
Sorry. Parang nagkaroon ng ano ha, ng glitch. Sandali lang ha. Mhm. Okay. Just give me one moment. Let
Yeah.
me just try this. Ay, what happened here? Hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. My God, nakakahiya naman. Nakakahiya kay Mr. sa Filipinas. My God. Pinahiya ako nito ah. Alright, here we go. Palitan ko na lang siya. Alright, there you go. Alright, can you see it now?
Yes.
Alright, so number four, right?
Yes.
Ala, bakit pareho? Nangyari dito? Bakit pareho? Shucks, sandali lang. Nakakahiya ah. There you go. Ano nangyari dito? Bakit ganon? Number four. Okay, ito na pala yung totoo. So let's start with from the very beginning, ha?
Yeah.
Let's start from the very beginning. So here we go. Number two, ayan, sports or gym?
Sports. Sports because it's a I, it breeds like teamwork, and I grew up
Mm-mm.
with football, so
Mm-mm.
yes, sports.
Oh, I see. But you still go to gym?
Yeah, yeah. Gym is part of my lifestyle as well. I play football and I run, and then I also gym.
Mm-mm. And can we just cancel out four?
Okay, okay.
Next number.
I'll go with one and then six.
One first. Oh,
Yes.
just the same. Ano nangyayari dito? Photos or videos?
I would say videos.
Why?
I think if I think of the reason why my dad always took pictures of us when we were kids is so we can look back and like see our lives before. But then
Mm-mm.
since videos came out to be, you can see more of the person. That's at
Mm-mm.
least that's the reason why people vlog, right? Like people would want to see how you were like a year before, or the years before. So definitely videos.
Yes. And it's uneditable, right? 'Di ba? Hindi mo na siya
Yes.
hindi mo ma-edit yung faces. 'Di ba? Well, na-edit yung
I
mga
guess if
ano,
you put it that way, yeah.
'di ba? As it is na siya. Thank you so much, Januarius, for being so nice and sports with us. And now, thank you as well, guys, for tuning in. Now, Janji, if you have any message, this night time for you to give your message to anyone you would like to address to, and of course, you may now promote your projects, your business rather, and of course your social media.
Okay, so first of all, I would just like to say thank you, sir, for having me on the stage. And then thank
Mm-hmm.
you to everyone that's come up here and engaged with us, especially towards me. Sir Fred, thank you. Sir Nan.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would just want to invite everyone to join me on my journey with Misters and everything that I stand for with Misters. This whole me being part of Misters is more of me rediscovering my roots are living in Mindanao and following my advocacy. I don't know a lot, but me being curious and understanding, I don't want to do this alone, and I want to do it within the community. And so, do follow me on my social media channels. It's very simple. Like just write up my name, Januarius Paglinawan, Facebook, um, YouTube as well, Instagram, and then on TikTok. Those are the platforms I'm very engaged in. If you want to communicate with me, I always reply to and respond to everyone the best that I can. And then also follow Agrico. Agrico is um, our our food product,
Mm-hmm.
which makes turmeric tea powders of any sorts, like our 5-in-1, 3-in-1 tea powders, and also like our pure granules and honey. And
Mm-hmm.
then lastly, our Paginawan Organic Eco Farm. So that's the name of our farm. Where we're a farm accredited farm, and also like we're also tourist accredited. So we do
Oh.
also welcome people to come, and we're support and thank you to the province for really supporting us towards like farm tourism, and also us being a farm like a farm accredited. That's such a big tongue twister. But yeah, that's all I want to say is thank you, and I'm very grateful for what's happening right here in front of me.
Well, hopefully we get to visit your farm as well very soon. Since hello,
Yes,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, we hope that we definitely get to visit your farm as well very soon when time allows us to fly all the way to Zamboanga Peninsula. All right, so thank you so much, guys. However, as you know, use available na pala yung introduction video nila, sir, no? Napanood. Yes, it's already available. It's already on YouTube. Just try to visit Peps TV, I guess, right?
Yes, visit
Uh-huh.
Peps TV,
Mm.
subscribe and like.
Mm-hmm.
Sir?
Yeah, there you go. Subscribe and like
Yeah, I
the
completely forgot.
YouTube
Do follow
channel.
Misters. Yes, follow them on
Mhm.
all their channels and all the activities. There's a lot of activities that
Mm.
we're going to be posting up.
All right. So, Genji.
Like,
All right, Genji. I believe that. Oh, oh, oh. What's happening to Genji? All right, there you go. He's back. So, Genji, this won't end without someone as well um to give you an encouragement, words of encouragement rather. So let me just get these guys at the backstage. Are you ready? Are you ready, Janji?
yes.
All right, here we go.
Hi, bro, Jaji. Best of luck of your upcoming Mister of the Philippines pageant. Let's get the title, bro. Good luck.
Hi, Janji. I just want to wish you luck on your pageant. I know you'll do great. Just relax, breathe, and do your best always. Now take care, and I'll see you on your pageant.
All right, there you go, Janji. So thank you so much once again, and thank you so much to all our viewers. Um, God bless also this page and more. Thank you so much, Sir Federico. Thank you for tuning in. And to all our viewers, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed yet on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click the bell notification as well. And please don't forget to follow and like this page, Pageant Mag Philippines Facebook page, and you can also follow us on TikTok and on our Instagram. Thank you so much. God bless you all. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Bye.